where you connect, lead, and build trust. Do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
Junior Show. The Jesse Jackson Junior Show. The Jesse Jackson Junior Show. The Jesse Jackson Junior Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA. Top 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's thought-provoking Thursdays in the World House with Dr. Johnny Mack. Johnny Mack is a social entrepreneur and scholar practitioner with expertise in the subject areas of peace, conflict, and social change and movements. He's traveled extensively throughout the Americas, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, working in the fields of peace, development, conflict, and nonviolent social change. Dr. Mack's seminal work, After Confrontation, Then What?, challenges the putative logic of nonviolent social change theory and practice. Particularly, he rearticulates nonviolence beyond the traditional understanding of nonviolent struggle as principally nonviolent resistance. Dr. Mack's research includes extensive study of Martin Luther King Jr.'s logic of nonviolence and the U.S. civil rights movement. He explicates Dr. King's logic of nonviolence using King's call to restructure the social edifice, and particularly its triple evils of poverty, racism, and militarism, with a revolution of values that is effected through peaceable power. This framework articulates Dr. King's peaceable power as direct, structural, and cultural nonviolence, with correlating strategic conscientiousness and cultural action correlates. Mack thus argues nonviolence is a metalogic with direct structural and cultural forms that counterpose Johann Galtung's seminal conflict of violence triangles. Dr. Mack, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and it is so good to be back in your presence.
Jesse, no, it's even better to be in yours. Always good to be here.
Johnny, you know, I've got, I'm reading your bio, which I know so well now. For more than a year, we've been working on these issues together. But putting my Women's History Month hat on and reflecting upon the war in Iran and reflecting upon the work that you have dedicated your life to, it just seems to me that women have a special place in your thinking, in that they seem to be a more receptive audience to the idea of resolving conflict through peaceable revolution of values, many of which begin around our table and the conversations within our own homes about the reality of providing for children. I was sharing with the producer just during the break that even the debate about birthright citizenship, dominated by men who don't give birth to American citizens, it seems to me that that feminine energy and its voice needs to be raised in the context of all of these global affairs. Dr. Johnny Mack.
Well, you're certainly not going to get me to argue against that point of view, Jesse. Not because I don't believe it, because I do, but I've lived long enough to know what battles to fight. Jesse, yes, I think that women, whether it's whether it's chemical or experiential, whatever it is that women bring to the human experience and men don't. Yes, I think if the world truly was ruled by women, with predominance of leadership in the world was by women, we obviously would have a very different world and a more just and peaceful world. This is not just something polite to say or nice to say. It's the reality of the fact, I think. And in my own household, as a child growing up, it was my mother who brought peace in the household, and even in conflicts within our community. And I think most of us, if truth be told, would have that same testimony.
I can only imagine, and I know that we'll talk about some of this after the break because we have about 2.5 minutes before we come forward. I can only imagine that women in war zones, the women of the Gaza, the women of Iran, while they may not be at the forefront of the news, that these conflicts, including the conflict that Dr. King found himself engaging in towards the end of his life, took into account the peasants and women in these poor communities who were the recipients of the cruelty of first world powers in their determination over ideological directions over and against the basic human needs of the people. Johnny?
Yeah. I've experienced in my career visiting war-torn areas, particularly after, of course, the wars ended. And what comes to my mind is the war in Sri Lanka. I spent a great deal of time, in fact, visited that nation just 4 months after the end of that 25-year war between the Tamil Tigers and the Sri Lankan government. And I mention that, Jesse, because in working with Sri Lankan people, both on the Sinhalese and Tamil side, it was the women who impressed our team most with their understanding of the war, who carried the burden of that war in ways that men could not, and who served as a buffer and as a way and a means of reaching out and building bridges across communities. I could say more about that, but I know we need to wrap.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to The World House with Dr. Johnny Mack. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA. It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, KBLA Talk 1580 host and African Focus Incorporated cultural ambassador. You probably know by now that every year our two organizations team up to lead a trip to the motherland. This June will be our 8th African Focus Trailblazers Tour, and it's not too late to join us. But if you've been thinking of going with us, now is the time to sign on before prices go up. Our current deadline is March 20th. Join us as we travel to a country widely considered one of Africa's most underrated destinations, Zambia, home to the towering Victoria Falls and the bustling capital city, Lusaka. Enjoy a visit to Botswana, known for its pristine natural beauty and stunning Southern African wildlife. We travel in comfort with luxury accommodations, a variety of fun activities, and delicious dining. We do service with charitable work at a school and an orphanage, and we expand our horizons with cultural and historical excursions. To sign up now before our March 20th deadline, please call African Focus Incorporated at 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300. Or check out africanfocus.org. Whether it's in the community or traveling the globe, we move as family. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Let's go.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable, all month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Farley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our regular contributor, Dr. Johnny Mack, is our host for the World House, and we were having a conversation just before the break about women and the role that they played in the Sri Lankan conflict. And I'm wondering, Johnny, when I reflect upon Dr. King's Beyond Vietnam speech, where he talked about these triple evils, it seems to me that when we talk about a revolution of values, some of those values are from the patriarchy in the direction of a matriarchy that is actually far more sensitive to these tabletop issues and to the issues of humanity. In fact, because men don't go through the birthing process to bring a human being into the world. And when they do, there is a nurturing that is associated with their development. And while it may start out as a lesson in biology, it ends up in life lessons of care for their child, for their nation, for their community, for their nation, and for the world. Something that grows out of the seed of that experience sensitizes them to other women and their children, other families and their children, the need to feed people, clothe people, educate people, and prepare them for the great message that Dr. King brought forward, some of the changes that we needed to make in the World House in order to survive. Dr. Mack.
Yeah, care for sure, Jesse, and nurturing. And that care and nurturing, it seems, never ends, even after childhood and youth and well into adulthood. Moms are always moms, aren't they? Mothers are always mothers. And that care and nurturing, I think, when added to the whole birthing process, does set the context in many ways, I think, to the point you're making about the role that women can do play in our world, and particularly as it relates to conflict and to war. Yes, I was talking about Sri Lanka and what I learned about the experience of women there. I must be quick to say that for those who know this war well, they also knew about female combatants who were brought into the war. And so I am mindful that we must not assume that all women at all times, under all circumstances, are that peaceful and nonviolent element of the human experience. But I think in the main, I can also reflect on my experience in the Middle East, particularly the present conflict between Israel and Palestine and our work there. I think about Ravi Damlin, a Jewish woman, a Jewish peace activist, whose son was killed. His son's name was David, and he was killed by a Palestinian sniper. And rather than turning bitter and joining those forces that would be against the Palestinian, Ravi Damlin reached out to mothers on the other side, to Palestinian mothers whose sons also had been killed. And they formed a bond and a peace circle. I believe it was called, I don't remember. But my point, Jesse, is, in thinking about celebrating women in this month, we must look to, I think, and cultivate their experience and what they have to offer in the routine quotidian day in and day out conflicts of life, but that not only in those circumstances that we find ourselves in as a globe with the Iranian war today.
I think in this moment that women every single day are in a war to feed their families. They're in a war to pay their electric bills. They're in a war to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage. They are in a war, a constant state of war, and we may not define it that way. We may choose to define it as affordability, but walking through the aisle of a grocery store, there is a war taking place as women have to discern between that which they can afford and they cannot afford. There is a war as we gas shop from one gas station to the next, and some of us cross the state border, go into Indiana to buy our gas, and then drive 20 miles back home because it is cheaper in Indiana than it is here in the state of Illinois, and certainly in the city of Chicago. I go to the QT right on the other side of the border because gas is cheaper. I couldn't make it there this morning, especially when the check engine light came on. But I don't think we define the war that they fight every day. And one could argue that that war is a war to afford to raise your family, a war to provide for your children. And from that war comes a new value system that should move the Congress of the United States into affordable care, into supplemental nutrition and assistance programs. In that war comes a recognition that we should not be dismantling the United States Agency for International Development, where other women around the world need seed to provide for their families after we extract critical minerals and reserves from underneath them to help propel our economy. It's almost as if this world house that Dr. King considered and some of the barriers, the triple evils to that world house are clearly a moment of reflection for us at this hour in the nation's history.
Well, Jesse, you obviously recall from memory or read King's Vietnam speech before this.
You mean the one that you turned me on to?
Because uh, replete in your conversation or in your comments were quips from King's speech. In fact, in that speech, King calls war the enemy of the poor. And for obvious reasons, war requires resources of the nation state. And those resources are scarce and limited, particularly in today's political economy. And so when our president goes to war against Iran, he has to make critical decisions about the economy and the resources that hard-earned money represents of the poor and just ordinary citizens. That money is now being spent in ways that takes from the mouths of babies as safety net programs have been closed. So War King was right, is the enemy of the poor. And I think women experience that in ways that we don't as men. And so, the values revolution that King called for is a revaluation of how we think about how we use a nation's resources and how we view others in terms of their dignity and their worth. So war indeed is the enemy of the poor.
And he asked for, if I'm correct, Johnny, a war on poverty. For those of you who can't shake the idea of the need for war, let's turn our attention on winning this.
Yeah.
Here's a war that we can actually win, and it's going to come at the cost of some people at the top who are collecting. Was it Mohandas Gandhi who said that we have enough resources in the world for everyone's need, but we don't have enough, and I think Dr. King picked up on this, for everyone's greed. Enough for every human being's need, but not every person's greed.
It was Gandhi, absolutely. Which punctuates the point that we're making about the choices that we make as a nation, and where we find ourselves today speaks to that. But so many struggling, and you yourself made the point, I think, earlier in the previous hour, of those who drive our babies, our children, from one place to another, whether it's to a ball game or to school or wherever the place may be, and are experiencing the rising cost of gasoline and the maintenance of our vehicles and so much more, Jesse, and all of this largely because of war.
Johnny, I know that when we come forward, and that's 4 minutes from now, we're going to deal with and touch upon how we can support your work. I'm thinking also, though, Johnny, in this moment, that when we turn our attention to this war on poverty, that there is a correlation between the civil rights of all Americans, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, the need, as Raphael Warnock, to recognize that the vote that we cast in the midterm elections is a kind of prayer for the world that we want to build, assuming, of course, that we've educated ourselves on who these pro-peace candidates are, who these anti-physical war candidates are, and those elected officials who are willing to turn our attention to the war on poverty and the identification in the federal and state budgets of how we eradicate poverty from our midst. And I can't think of a more tabletop issue and program, a policy-based program in the country, than shifting our attention to the war on poverty and rededicating ourselves to it in a way that we haven't, maybe Johnny, in a generation.
Yeah, the idea that that voting is a type of prayer, and prayer, of course, is an action of faith. That is, we have the faith that there's someone somewhere out there who hears our prayer. But if that's the case, then, Jesse, isn't it also true that faith without works is dead. And so there's a virtuous circle there, that we pray because we believe, and then we act through voting in demonstration of our faiths. But that work of prayer does not end at the ballot box itself. We must, not just in the moment of voting, but throughout the course of our experiences, day in and day out, we must vote in how we engage with our brothers and our sisters and the broader community. Every action that we take has some significant impact on the quality of life that we have and the type of world that we want, that we create. And so having a spirit of prayer, a life of prayer, a life of faith, and a life of action is really, I think, what King would argue is what a nonviolent movement is all about.
I am at a loss for words because I don't think I could have said it any clearer than that. Dr. Mack's research includes extensive study of Martin Luther King Jr.'s logic of nonviolence and the U.S. civil rights movement. He explicates Dr. King's logic of nonviolence using King's call to restructure the social edifice, and particularly its triple evils of poverty, racism, and militarism, with a revolution of values that is effected through peaceable power. Now, that's a great and a very, very powerful sentence, but it can all be summed up as tabletop issues, the kinds of issues that women deal with every day, because around our table are the issues of war and peace, where the corn comes from, where the pork chop comes from, where the oil that we fry our chicken in comes from, are all factors in how we see ourselves moving forward. We're in the World House with Dr. Johnny Mack. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says she's running for re-election even though her approval ratings remain low. A recent poll shows just 24% of voters approve of her performance, but Bass tells NBC Los Angeles she's confident she can bring change.
What I'm confident in and feel very good about is my ability to bring various parts of the city together.
Bass says her focus is now preparing Los Angeles to host major global events, including the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics. The person who attacked a Michigan synagogue is dead. The attack took place at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, northwest of Detroit, when a person crashed a vehicle into the temple that had children inside. Police say the vehicle caught fire as security opened fire on the driver. And former VP Kamala Harris has canceled several stops on her book tour in California. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers made it past the 500 mark Wednesday night and got a spectacular performance from Kawhi Leonard. Leonard dropped 45 points to lead the Clippers to a 153-128 win over Minnesota. The 153 is a season high for the Clippers, who won their third straight and 6 of their last 7. The Clippers are 33-32, first time over 500 since they were 3-2 on October 31st. Hard to believe that this team was 6-21 in December. Leonard was sensational. He made 15 of 20 shots and was 9 of 10 at the free throw line. Leonard has led the Clippers in scoring the last 7 games. Knock on wood, everybody, so this brother can stay healthy. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They play Chicago at Crypto.com. The Lakers are going for their 4th straight win. LeBron could be another game-time decision. He's missed the last 3 games with an elbow injury and a bruised hip. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Whoa, whoa.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, aka the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey LA, spring into savings with a special offer from LADWP. Now through March 31st, get a Flume device for free. What's a Flume? It's an easy-to-install home water monitor and leak detector that helps you catch leaks early and track water use. Don't wait. Order your free Flume before March 31st at ladwp.com/FLUME. That's ladwp.com/FLUME.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Warning, evacuation in progress. Leave the building.
It's a total takeover. On Friday, March 27th, KBLA Talk 1580 belongs to the women.
Are you ready?
All day long, from 6 in the morning to midnight, the mic belongs to powerful, accomplished women, and we are not letting go. Nothing but the voices of women who inspire, challenge, and move us forward. It's the women of KBLA Talk 1580, sun up to sundown. I'm Dominique DePrima, and I'll anchor the day with a 3-hour live panel from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the state of Black women in LA, followed by women talking to women all day long about the issues that matter most. Our hosts for the day include Jill Monroe, Adrian Shropshire, Dr. Melina Abdullah, Angela Reddick Wright, Raquel Graham, Angelique Francis, Tasha Thomas, Dr. Shalonda Crawford, Dion Raymond, and featuring special guest hosts Santita Jackson and Amanda Seals. This is Women's History Month, and we're not just celebrating it, we're amplifying it. Join us Friday, March 27th on KBLA Talk 1580, where women take over all day, all night. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 and all of our socials for the rundown. You don't want to miss a single word. And happy Women's History Month from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
To my ladies,
I'll show you know how to work that.
You are the bomb.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We are in the World House with Dr. Johnny Mack. We're discussing peaceable power and solutions, the revolution of values that Martin Luther King Jr. talked about in his amazing speech Beyond Vietnam that has profound implications for all of us today. I don't know anyone who's following up on this work in the detail that Dr. Johnny Mack is following up on it and helping educate a new generation of Americans on how important Dr. King's unfinished business really is to the nation, to the world, and to our body politic. Johnny, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and to the World House.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Always good to be here.
Johnny, how can we support your work?
Well, our website, Jesse, is theworldhouseproject.org. Again, that's theworldhouseproject.org. If you go there, one can find the work that we do and learn more about it. You can join us in our global network, which is truly a global framework of individuals, groups, and organizations. And you can become part of that network. And then finally, you can find a place where you could make a tax-deductible contribution to our work. So thank you for asking, Jesse.
Johnny, I was on an amazing Zoom call in the middle of a difficult week for me, planning for my father's funeral, and I was amazed at the global leadership that was on the call. Professor Kumalo and Talela Vika out of Africa, and representatives of your organization in the UK and throughout the world in South America. And my signal wasn't as strong as I would have liked for it to have been. But can you share with our listeners the global nature and global reach of the participants in the World House that I got a real feel for was when I was on that Zoom call?
Well, Jesse, I didn't realize you were on such a Zoom call, but yes, I'm happy, and thank you for asking to talk about our work, which from South America to South Africa to the Far East and Southeast Asia, throughout Europe, the Balkans, and right here in the United States, of course. We have a global network of individuals, groups, and organizations, and they work as working groups. We have a couple of dozen working groups actively working on challenges and opportunities of peace and conflict, whether it's through direct action or structural and cultural action, seeking help or working to inculcate or to bring in reality King's call for this revolution of values. I was talking to a group just earlier today, Jesse, who is planning one of the World House Project's 6 global conferences. Yes, this year we will do 6 global conferences. We just finished one of those 6 in Mérida, Mexico, where a couple of thousand people gathered on this very issue. The next one is in Delhi, India. After that, Johannesburg, South Africa. After that, Nairobi, Kenya, and so on. And so we are working on the ground from the bottom up, not just talking about nonviolent social change, but in action, working in our everyday lives to realize that vision of the World House. Again, one can go to our website and learn more about that work and how you can become involved in the work. And you can also join us in our weekly meeting of the World House. You can find how to join that meeting. We meet once a week for 1 hour via Zoom call, and we'd welcome your participation. Jesse, you've been in that meeting.
And it was amazing, and I look forward to returning that meeting. And I'm going to use my own Wi-Fi the next time I participate. Hey, Johnny, let me ask you a question. What are the working groups saying about the United States right now?
Yes, Jesse. It's not only the working groups, but as one travels around the world, the conversation about the U.S. is not kind. Let me say it that way. Much of the world is greatly disappointed in what we have come to be as that, what I think Ronald Reagan called us a shining light on the hill. What we once represented to the world, good or bad or indifferent, as one might have viewed it before this current administration, there's great disappointment around the world. And so our working groups often ask, what have we come to as the United States of America? And how have we abandoned the commitments that we've made to so many who've worked hand in hand, side by side with Americans through USAID and other programs, for example. And so the conversation, Jesse, is not good. We have much to consider and to think about as ordinary citizens on how we want to be viewed as a nation and what we want to give to the world.
Are there in these working groups, is there any sense of any hope for the redemption of the United States and its possibility of assuming it's what I would consider at 250 years old on July 4th, 2026, at least the idea of all men being created equal?
Yes,
Is there any hope that America is redeemable in light of what we have lost?
Well, of course, there's always hope, and there are always individuals who hold on to hope. Our work at the World House Project does embrace, of course, and build its work around King's vision of the World House and his call for a revolution of values. But it also embraces the work of Mohandas K. Gandhi and, of course, Madiba Nelson Mandela. And so we bring those giants of peace and justice who, particularly throughout the 20th century, showed us a way of realizing a just and peaceful world. And so people within the network embrace those values of human dignity, freedom, and community. And it is in those values that they gain sustenance and a spirit of hope and look forward to realizing that hope as a just and peaceful world.
You know, Johnny, I'm struck by the irony of it all, because in a few short months, we're going to be firing a bunch of fireworks. We're going to be barbecuing a lot of chicken. We're going to be cooking a lot of ribs and eating sweet potato pie and sweet and potato, potato salad by the ton.
Cornbread.
Domestically, that's that right there now. Celebrating America, but what I'm hearing you suggest to us is that most people around the world, or the working groups that comprise the World House Project that you have assembled under your brilliant leadership, they're going to be frowning at this celebration, as if to suggest it can't possibly be anything other than a romanticization of the truth of who and what underlies the American system itself.
Yeah. So Jesse, you're talking about the American system, and perhaps so. Many around the world who've become confused about our current behavior, particularly in this war that we have that we are engaged in with Iran. But remember now that it is that system, it is the government, the leadership of the nation that people are looking at around the globe. I'm not so sure that they hold the same point of view with ordinary citizens, with ordinary Americans.
Johnny?
And it is what we show them as ordinary citizens that makes the difference. That is why networks like our own in the World House Project is so important, irrespective of age or any other human characteristic. We come together as a global community.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Johnny Mack when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Charmin Weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson all fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Yeah, sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
Yeah. The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
He's the son of a school teacher and Navy veteran who built a company worth billions and walked away from it. Tom Steyer, pledging to give away half of everything he earned to charity and fight for Californians. So when out-of-state corporations weren't paying their fair share of taxes, Tom Steyer led the fight for Prop 39 and won, earning California billions of dollars for our schools. Tom took on Big Oil to stop them polluting our air and water and smash them. Tom fought for free school lunches so no child goes hungry. Tom Steyer, strong enough to take on the special interests crushing us with the cost of living. As governor, Tom will stop Wall Street from buying up middle-class homes, lower utility rates by 25%, and ban corporate PAC money from our politics. Other politicians talk. Tom Steyer gets it done. Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We've been having an amazing conversation with Dr. Johnny Mack, who is a social entrepreneur and scholar practitioner with an expertise in subject areas of peace, conflict, and social change movements. Johnny, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and to your show, The World House, on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on Thought Provoking Thursdays. Johnny, welcome forward.
Jesse, thank you. I'm always delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Johnny, I had an amazing conversation this past Wednesday, or maybe it was the day after my father's memorial services. My phone rang and there was a 404 area code on it. And I said, I'm not going to answer this. I'm in Chicago and I'm extremely tired right now. And I heard one of the most recognizable voices in American history. And it was none other than Ambassador Andrew Young. And there are few lieutenants left of the great struggle for civil rights in the United States, given the passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson and the aging of Ambassador Andrew Young. And I shared with him shortly after next Tuesday that I would be making my way to Atlanta, Georgia, to spend a few precious hours with him because there's so much more that he has to offer and so much that in a very lucid way he has to contribute. I'd like your thoughts on the baton and on this generation having fulfilled its mission in large part, and what a new generation of Americans should be looking forward to. And please exclude me from your thoughts. What they should be looking forward to in terms of picking up where Andrew Young and Jesse Jackson and others, including ourselves, have to look forward to. Dr. Mack.
Yes. Well, Jesse, let me first say it would be difficult to exclude you. But, with that said, I've really had the privilege over the last couple of decades to work with people like your father, Andy Young. We lost Bernard Lafayette last week, another of
painful loss. Painful loss.
Yeah,
What
painful.
a mind. What a mind.
Absolutely. Last Thursday, in fact, the day before your father's homegoing service. But, I had the privilege, again, of working with so many and to see them one by one depart this life anyway. It makes one wonder, to your question, who and what comes behind them. And, Jesse, I'm encouraged. Again, I spent a great deal of time here in the U.S. and around the globe engaging in the network that I spoke of. And there's a plethora of young people, of young minds and talent who are engaged and involved, who see the challenge and grasp the opportunities to create a more just and peaceful world. And, you often ask, or every week you ask for a message of hope, and maybe this segues into that, if I may, Jesse. Jesse, you're muted, but I think you said go right ahead.
I certainly did. Yes, you may. Go right ahead, Johnny. You know it's coming.
But I am, Jesse. I am encouraged. And yes, sound perhaps a bit patronizing, but that hope is in people such as yourself, but not only you, those whom you touch and those who are inspired by the work of your family and so many families who came before us in giving their lives to social change and development and improving the quality of life of this human experience. As King said, these are very dark and difficult days, and he warned us that even more difficult days were ahead. But King also assured us that darkness cannot bring light, or darkness cannot wipe out darkness, only light can do that. And King understood that light there's a spark of light in every one of us. And so the young people that you mention or you talk about, and I am referencing, they collectively bring that light. It becomes a very bright and shining beam that gives hope to a more just and peaceful world. And so I'm encouraged by what I see. And they energize me, and I'm sure you as well. We should join them in their efforts for peace and justice around the globe.
Johnny, I want to thank you for being a very special bridge and for the extraordinary work and sacrifice that you've made, the time that you've spent with my father over decades, enlightening him, helping him understand the broader mission, helping him pick up on Dr. King's mantra and the importance of this work. I'm so grateful to you. Our generation is so grateful to you. Our radio station here at KBLA Talk 1580 is so grateful to you, and so are all of our listeners. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk, KBLA Talk 1580. Tomorrow, Fat Meat Fridays with Gina Towns. Look forward to that conversation. Until then, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.